There they are. Oh my goodness. Hello.
Yeah.
It's good to see you. I'm still coming in.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to the Sid City Social Club for Friday, April 22nd. We're glad you're here. I'm Mel with SidCity.net, and you all know Sid.
Hi, Mel.
Hi, Sid. We have several new people here today who found us, I'm assuming, through the Chicago Comic-Con that we were at, or the Chicago Star Trek convention we were at last couple weeks ago.
Or the dark web. We'll never know.
Or it's from the dark web. We don't know, because that's the one part of the web I don't monitor. All right, over to Sid.
Thank you. Thanks so much. So we went to Chicago. A lot of us were there. And what a time it was. Absolutely exhausting, I'm sure, for everybody. But great fun. And it was really lovely to see everybody in person and bravely maskless, at least to come and say hi, which was fantastic because it makes a huge difference. I hope nobody got COVID. I came straight back and tested. But if you did catch it, then I hope it's super, super mild and you don't even notice. I think I must have even got drunk at some point because I know I had to go and have a dinner with my wife and Nana, who turned up, and I was sort of getting them together to say hi and what's going on. And I left them to it, but I'd had a glass of wine and a half at least on my way to the next thing, which was our Sid City meet that night. And I think I got really philosophical or something. But anyway, I was thinking of a theme for this because I want to try and introduce themes again because I think they're really good fun. And I think I read a piece in one of the newspapers that was about how do you get on with people you no longer get on with for whatever reason. I hear it a lot in families and stuff like that, where, you know, a couple of sisters won't talk to each other forever, for years. Just it's seemingly intractable relationship fractures. This particular article is quite pessimistic. It said that, well, there is no way to convince someone else of if they believe something. And I'm not sure that that's right, but I'm not sure it's necessary to convince anybody at all. Is there a way of having a parallel relationship to belief so that you don't actually clash on that? Because I think our relationships are so much more important than these what seem to me to be passing fads of populist frenzy. Anyway, that's my sort of theme for today. It's a bit of a philosophical one, but I'm quite interested in it. And if I might ask you about it, but you might not want to talk about it, in which case don't ignore me. Talk about something you want to talk about, because that's why you're here. So with that, let's get cracking.
All right. Well, speaking of relationships, we are going to watch a sizzle reel from Chicago that Rob put together for us. If we can get along, anybody can, right? Is that
yes.
what we're going to say? Maybe. There we go.
Oh, and thank you, Rob, ahead of time.
You're going to love this.
That's fantastic. Rob, you're amazing.
A whole weekend in 2 minutes.
Awesome. Where are you?
I'm here.
Hello. That's what a generous thing to do, spending your time doing that. How did you get back? All right?
Yeah, it was long. I think it ended up being about like a 19-hour round trip, but it was worth it for that. So yeah.
Oh my goodness! And how about your long-suffering assistants?
Long-suffering, they're well paid for being long-suffering. No, we actually had quite a good trip back because we got upgraded to premium economy, which was terrible.
Really? It was terrible?
No, it wasn't.
No,
it was good.
I was going to say, please don't let it be terrible. Oh, that's great. How I never really got a chance to talk to you after the disability in Star Trek panel. How did that go? Because when we were in it, but you must have heard some stuff. Was it interesting to people? Was it useful?
Definitely, yes.
Oh, good. I'm really glad, because when you're in it, you can barely capture whatever just comes flying out of your mouth. You're like, put it back again quickly.
Yeah, we all know what it's like to be you briefly, yes.
Yes, saying things and taking your foot and sticking it right in your mouth and going, oh my God, I just said that. That's okay. Well, I'm really glad that went well. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. That was really, really lovely.
just wanted to say thank you for what you did for me and Keyless in terms of actually being on the panel, because I know that everyone actually at the convention knows, but for everyone else who doesn't, that you actually rearranged your flights to kind of be on the panel with us. And I just wanted to say with more witnesses around, thank you for doing that, because it was very kind of you.
Well, it was my pleasure, my privilege, actually.
Let me add my thanks to that too. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Keyless. That's lovely. It was just such a pleasure to do with both of you, because I two such big minds on the subject. I know that you're hiding behind your cat, but it doesn't work. I know you're there. It doesn't. I do not mistake you for your back of your cat's head. You can hide as much as you want. Oh, now she's boxing you. I'm really glad that it went well, and I'm really glad that we got to say a couple of things. I was a little bit upset at the time because we never got to publicize it, and it would have been great to fill that room, and I'm sure we would have had we had a chance to market it. But it kind of says it kind of defines the uphill struggle that you have in the fact that we couldn't get the market people to come and see us, even though because they were too busy going whatever.
It just means that we'll have to do it all over again, Sid.
We'll just have to do it all over again. Yeah, exactly. Fantastic, guys. I'm proud. I'm really proud of you. I thought you did a wonderful, wonderful job.
Thank you. You did too.
Thank you.
Yeah, as Rob mentioned, he's editing the panels, and we will have those up as soon as we can on YouTube.
He's a glutton for punishment, is our Rob.
Oh, I tell you.
He likes hard work.
Yeah. He takes it on himself. He doesn't even say, "Hey, would you like me to?" He's just like, like, great. We do need to do a quick shout out that I forgot to do at the beginning. Rose, our very own Rose, is defending her dissertation right now.
Oh my goodness, she's actually defending it right now somewhere else.
She couldn't join us for the meeting because she's doing it. She's defending her dissertation, and she asked if we could all send her good vibes.
Good vibes headed your way, Rose.
She'll let us know how it went afterwards.
I'm sure she will.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go talk to Franny.
Hi.
Hi, Franny.
Hi.
Hi.
Does it work?
It's working. It's working great.
Total Zoom newbie, so I don't know.
You're doing great. Look, you're right. You look. I can see your whole face in the camera.
Fantastic.
You can probably see yours too in the top left-hand corner, or some part of the screen. You can see yourself, which is horrible because I always kind of catch myself and I'm going, "Oh, my hair's not symmetrical."
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Where are you, Franny?
I'm from Germany, and
Germany.
Yeah. I've been to a couple of meetings before, so it's the first time talking.
This is the first time to talk, yeah?
Yeah, right.
Fantastic. And is it for real spring now in Germany, or are you still in the transition?
No, it's really spring. I just thought when I got back home, everything is in bloom, everything is green and flowers are there. So
that's my favorite time for colors, because the color of the trees in spring is magical, because it's not quite really that beautiful adult green which they become in full summer, and it's dark, but it's light and shimmering and all different colors of energy that are just so beautiful. So how did you find us? What happened?
When the pandemic started, I started to get into my inner Trekkie again and watch Deep Space Nine. And my best friend started watching Next Generation. And so Star Trek became our thing in the pandemic. And I just looking in YouTube for a couple of videos from Deep Space Nine and found you guys.
Oh, wow. That's amazing, isn't it? That's really cool. So that you were hoping to find just some shows, some Deep Space Nine shows.
Yeah.
Or maybe the documentary. What is it you do? What's going on, if you do anything?
I'm mostly working.
Are you working?
I'm working in a bookshop, and so that's probably my whole day at the moment.
You work in a bookshop?
Yeah, I'm a bookseller.
What's a bookshop? I used to see them all over the place when I was young, but now I don't see any.
Yeah.
That's fantastic that you work in a bookshop.
Thankfully, in Germany, there's still a couple of not big branches. So I work in a small bookshop with one owner, and that's so nice. Yeah, it's not a big company, and we can do what we like and sell what we like, and Yeah, because
And do you read a lot, or is that something you just don't have time for?
once in a while I read stuff I really like to read, old stuff, classics.
Right. What's the last book that you went, oh my goodness, really surprised, I really enjoyed that?
um, the last book actually I just finished yesterday, and it was Shirley Jackson's The Haunting of Hill House, an old stuff book. Yeah,
Was it good?
it was fantastic. It's
Oh.
I don't know if you knew the Netflix series Haunting of Hill House. It was this horror show. It was all over
Oh
the
no, I
places,
don't.
and it's based on this book.
Then I will have a look, either at the book. I find I have much less time to read as much as I'd like to, but at least I can watch something. What do you do to relax? Apart from obviously read, but that's kind of what work is. So what do you do to make yourself happy?
Thankfully, now I'm meeting with my friends again. My best friend doesn't really live far away, so we basically meet on Sunday, watch movies, watch Star Trek.
That's great. That's
yeah,
fantastic.
and meeting my family. They live a bit 2 hours away from me, but we're actually having tomorrow a little family gathering. So I'm really glad. Yeah.
Do you get on with your whole family? Is everybody
yes,
together?
thankfully, yes. I have a big family, and they're great, and we all have, because what you said before, we all have kind of the same beliefs, and there wasn't really
Any
big
problems
issues with COVID and everything.
Have you ever had a relationship? Have you ever stopped talking to a friend? Have you ever gone, right, I'm not talking to you again?
I don't think so. I had a couple of relationships who sizzled out slowly. You just
that's
see
normal.
each other anymore,
You
but
just
really
don't see
not,
it.
not a hard cut where I just say, no, I'm not talking to you anymore. Thankfully
that
not.
strikes me as odd, and I've got to try and get to the bottom of it because I see it all around me. Anyway, we'll talk to somebody who has done that, and they'll explain why that happens. I don't understand.
I experienced it a little bit with customers in the bookshop, because when the pandemic started, it was a pretty big hassle, because we had to demand you have to wear a mask in the shop, and when they have to show their vaccine cards, and people got really mean. So that I really sometimes told my boss, I just can't do it anymore. I'm back in the office and I'm crying because people became really mean. And I just kind of lost my faith a little bit there in humanity. But it's gotten better. It's gotten better, and I got a little bit tougher.
Good. I mean, I don't know how you do it, because I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could tell people that, I mean, even though I believe entirely that I'm saying the right thing, please put on your mask, you're around other people here, I would probably slowly tear me apart to have to do that every 3 or 4 times a day, knowing that every time I do it, it's going to be a fight. Why? By the way, how the hell is your English so good?
I'm really struggling because I'm so nervous.
Your English is amazing.
Really? Thank you.
Yeah. Did you study it at university?
No, I was so bad in school. I really just got bad notes in English. I just have a couple of friends who live in Birmingham. They're actually just here in Germany, but with another friend. So, yeah, I read English books because I can't wait till they come out in German. I read English fan fiction, and
That's fantastic.
But I thought I'm struggling here.
No, not at all.
Okay.
I'm not even moderating my language for you, and normally I would do that if I suspected that you were having trouble understanding me. You're doing just fine.
Okay, thank you. Great.
So we established you're meeting all your family tomorrow.
Yeah.
In a little family.
Because my cousin just got a baby, and we're gonna baby watching.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's so cool.
I'm really excited. Yeah.
That is really exciting. Do you go touring? What do you do when you have your breaks?
Yes. As I mentioned, I have my best friend, and we'll be going on vacation every year since 2008. Every year, it's our tradition, even if it's just over the weekend, even if any one of us is in a relationship, we're doing this every year.
That's adorable.
And that's That's the best. She's the best travel partner.
I
We
bet.
actually wanted to go to Japan before the pandemic, but well,
Yeah,
yeah.
not
So
happening.
now we're going to Italy this year.
That's great.
Yeah, not so
Whereabouts in
far
Italy?
from us.
Do you know where you're going, or are you just touring the whole place?
No, it's we're in the south of Germany, so it's just a couple of hours. We're going to the Lake of Garda,
Okay, it's lovely.
basically little Germany.
Yeah,
Everyone from
gorgeous.
Germany goes there.
That's gorgeous. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. Well, it's just been charming talking to you. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
plucking up the courage and
Thank you.
doing.
Yeah.
Do you write? Do you write stuff?
I did when I had more time when I was in school. I love writing. I think I'm not bad, but I just have the time. Don't have the time anymore.
Sure.
But I don't know. I will maybe pick it up again someday. Yeah.
Do you hang out in? Do you ever go to the Discord here?
Yes. I
They're a really good bunch, and you
Yes.
may decide you can find time to do some more writing. That might be fun.
Yeah, maybe.
Short
Okay.
things, just like a couple of
Yeah.
sentences. What did we just hear? Sci-fi coup.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well,
Thank you so much for
Franny.
talking to me.
Thank
Great.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Franny. All right, we're going to go catch up with Rachel.
Hi, Rachel. Oh, it's good to see you again. We've talked before.
Yeah, we spoke in June of last year.
That's right.
Yes, I'm the philosophy lecturer with long COVID.
You are. Excuse my dogs. They're just going crazy because they heard something move somewhere in the world.
Dogs are like that.
They are like that. How are you feeling?
Somewhat better than last time, but some of the symptoms haven't really changed. It's just that I've learned how to manage them better.
What's going on? Can anybody help? Is this it? Because I think everybody is obsessed with vaccines and is obsessed with horrifying hospitalizations and naturally, but it doesn't seem as though the same sort of attention or energy further is being paid to people who are still suffering because they're a box ticked. They didn't die. And I don't want to be macabre, but clearly if they didn't die, then job done.
Yeah, and I think you're right that that's the general attitude from a lot of health services. I mean, there is more research going into long COVID than other similar conditions that people had been dealing with.
People have absolutely no idea how to deal with. I know that they don't with Lyme disease. You can have that for the whole of your life and no one will have a clue what to do about it. So I'm hoping that, because I think that, sorry to interrupt you, but I think that the talk shows and the newspapers should be going on and on about this as the biggest, one of the biggest health emergencies in our world today. Because if just you and the people we know that have got long COVID are the tip of the iceberg, and the people who know they have it, because there'd be a ton of people who don't realize why they're so lethargic and why they have trouble with various things, and they're probably chasing, tilting at windmills and with their doctors about what they're suffering from, and don't even realize that this is the problem. Where have you found any resources that you think are helpful?
Not really.
I'm just trying to think what resources there might be that could alleviate some of your suffering, because it's just simply not a way to exist, to be constantly walking uphill.
I mean, there have been some online resources. I kind of had to figure out what my fundamental problem was. And so I don't know if you have heard of postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, or POTS.
Absolutely not. No, I'm astonished you even can say it out loud.
I've said it a lot in the past year or
Yeah.
so. So that is a condition that people have known about for a long time. That is sometimes a consequence of these other post-viral syndromes, or Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is a genetic condition that either predominantly or exclusively affects women.
Right.
Yeah, so there is information. There's like a website, that Dysautonomia International, that has various resources with for people with various forms of dysautonomia or dysfunctions of the autonomic nervous system, which is what POTS is.
How about your sense of, I mean, obviously your happiness is fleeting from time to time, I'm sure, but because you're probably haunted by a memory of times when you were much more comfortable. But are there things that you find to do, that you said you're working on things to control, or at least to manage certain parts of this, certain situations here? What is it that you can do to make you more relaxed, at least?
Well, I mean, the main thing that you have to do to manage it is avoid standing up for long periods of time.
Yeah.
So that, because what POTS is that your heart rate stays abnormally high for as long as you're standing.
Yeah.
Which of course means that anything that involves like walking or running is also really bad, because you have to be standing to do those.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, I've just figured out that I can't try to do that. This past semester, a lot of classes went back to being in person.
And that's
and I just said, I have to give lectures sitting down, and that's the way it was.
You know what? I think it's probably still worth it to attend one of your lectures, even if you're sitting down.
I don't think standing would add anything.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, certainly not. I mean, I do if you're doing some sort of jumpy up and downy PowerPoint thing with, pointing to electrons fizzing around in a thing, but I don't think that's your field.
No, and like you can probably, you can use a laser pointer sitting down anyway. So.
Absolutely. And we talked a little bit about what your favorite elements of philosophy were last time, because I think your job is not necessarily to find fixes, but to point out the map, to show the actual terrain. How do you see it? Is it different? Is it cyclical? Do you think this is, because for me it's unique. I'm in my 50s somewhere. God knows where. But this is a unique experience for me this year, and this past few years of people really despising each other. And I'm not talking about just like normal soccer or football tribalism, where you don't like people from Liverpool if you happen to be from Manchester, etc. This is more deep-seated, more feels to me that deep. Is this something you've given a thought to about how, or am I just challenging you to think about it on the spot?
I've thought about it probably in the way that anyone has thought about it. An analysis that I've heard that makes sense to me is that people on different political teams no longer think of the other side as well-meaning, but just wrong or misinformed or doing bad reasoning. It's that they think of each other as malicious enemies who, it's not that they both want what's best for the country, but are just mistaken about what that is. It's that they want to destroy the country.
Right.
It is a problem. If it's a problem for democracy, if we can't trust that we have some sort of shared aim.
Yeah, it's a problem for humanity, mainly because of the fact that I'm sorry if I'm bumming anyone out here, but I find this so compelling, so important, that I'm really curious to talk to smart people about it. And I think it's more deep-seated than even the political tribalism. I think there's something in us, something triggered, that allows us to freely express our hatreds. And I think that is exacerbated by some social media, which shields us through anonymity, so that you can say whatever vile, despicable thing you please, and you will never be held to account. And I'm a little bit saddened by that, because either we've all been hiding this very well for decades and decades, except during hot wars, or we are born into it just recently. And I don't believe the latter. I think I've been suppressing this sort of freedom of hatred, if you like, the freedom of expression in hateful terms, Lots of minorities have experienced this and for centuries. But in terms of the basic norms that you would expect everybody to be getting on from at least on a tolerable level, they seem to have become shattered somehow to me in the last 6 or 7 years.
Again, if it's just someone that you disagree with on a shared project of some kind, you still have an interest in maintaining a civil relationship. You think it's possible to persuade the other person of your point of view. And that's only going to happen if you sort of maintain a certain amount of respect. But if you think of them as just enemies, then you don't need to maintain any kind of relationship. And they're cast out of your...
So in a sense, we are not fighting for the same thing.
Well, I work on the late 19th century mostly. So
you may have seen this before.
Yeah, a lot of stuff looks very familiar.
Clearly been around for a couple of times. That makes me feel a bit better because we've pulled ourselves out of it before. I can't see your cat at all, but I know it's a cat. It just looks like you're stroking a black space.
Yes, that's
pitch black area.
Yep.
It could be a familiar from his Dark Materials, the Pullman novel.
She kind of is my demon. She's never that far from me. There she is.
There she is. You can see her eyes. The only clue that she isn't a black hole, a disruption in the dark matter of the universe. What do you find that your dietary habits have changed over last year? And what is it you eat that makes you feel great?
I have to avoid things with a lot of acid. I haven't been eating tomatoes or citrus recently, which is very sad.
Yeah.
Not supposed to be drinking anything with alcohol. I am drinking things with alcohol.
What kind of a life is that?
Seriously, but just not as often as I used to.
Yeah.
So I've been going kind of on and off coffee.
Yeah.
Which is another thing that's very acidic, and also caffeine is bad for reflux. But
is tea okay? You haven't picked up the English habit of tea?
Tea's better than coffee, but black tea still isn't great in terms of the acid content. I've sort of been attempting to replace coffee with yerba mate, which is a South American type of tea that has more caffeine than black tea and is less acidic. But really nothing can replace coffee.
I think philosophy is one of those things that a lot of people revere, would love to be, but wouldn't really know where to start. How did you get involved? How did you begin?
Many people have sort of like a metaphysical awakening, I gather, around like between the ages of 11 and 13, where they suddenly start asking the big questions, Is there a God? Where do we go after we die?
I think we all have those questions.
What's the meaning of life? Could I be in a simulation? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I had that period. Somebody gave me the book Sophie's World to read in,
and that locked it up.
6th grade.
Yeah.
No, it didn't actually, because then a few years after that, I read The Lord of the Rings, including the appendices, and got really into historical linguistics.
The appendices. That's really
funny. So I actually majored in linguistics in college. I ended up switching to philosophy in undergrad for a variety of reasons. Took some more philosophy classes because I had this old childhood interest in it. And then also I discovered that I didn't enjoy social science research because it's kind of boring and involves a lot of spreadsheets and also talking to strange people if you're doing like sociolinguistic interviews. Yes, so I preferred research in the humanities, and that's where I am.
That's fantastic. Well, I thank you for catching us up on your life story a bit, and thank you for keeping us up to date with your struggle with long COVID. And I just hope we find a glimmer of something that you can hold on to, and that gives you another 5% more comfort.
Ben and Jerry's half-baked is the thing that...
Boom.
Yeah.
Problem solved. World order restored. Thank you so much for going to talk to us, and I look forward to hearing from you again. I really do.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Rachel. All right, we've got another fairly new person here, Emma.
Hello.
Emma, hello.
Hello.
Where
It's
in
nice.
the world are you?
Right now, I'm in Czech Republic.
In the Czech Republic.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
I kind of live there.
You kind of live there? Do you kind
Yeah.
of live somewhere else as well?
Yeah, it depends, but I live here like
Right.
most of my life. I spend a lot of time in Poland, but
Yeah.
I am from Czech Republic.
Okay. Wow. And are you a student? Are you working in the workplace? You're a mother? What do
Well,
you do?
right now I'm at university. I'm taking a bachelor course and I'm actually finishing. Just today I finished writing my bachelor thesis.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. What's your subject?
Geoinformatics.
You're going to have to say that again.
Geoinformatics. It's
Right.
part of cartography, but we do stuff on PC. It's like cartography, but we do stuff like analysis of 3D models of relief or of cities and stuff like that.
And what do you hope to achieve on a normal practical level? Is that to map the change in urban geography, to map the change in cities?
Well, it really depends because we can work in many fields, like in ecology or in urbanism, or we can be just making maps. Like me, I decided to make a atlas of defense features in my region as part of my bachelor thesis. So I actually created an atlas. It's not printed yet, but I spent a lot of time with it. And
Wow.
there are maps and texts and photos.
Fantastic. Are you in danger of being put in prison for publishing something like that? Because that seems to be secret, all those things.
No, I live in next to border with Poland, and we have very old defense features here. They're old, they don't work, so I can map them without being in danger.
Wow, that's fantastic. And what do you think the knowledge of, when people know that there's a lot of, is it wasted area, things that could be done? Are you trying to alert people to maybe you had no idea there was so much of this that we can actually do something useful perhaps with some of this land?
I think people can visit them and see around because many tourists come around here, but they don't know what to do in the borderlands because it's like there is a big city near which I live, and we have the big huge festival like Colors of Ostrava, if you ever heard about it, some of you. But it's like people go there, they get drunk and listen to some music, but they don't like explore it around. Sure. Because that's important for me. I live here, I love it here, and I just want people to see it's pretty around here.
Wonderful ambition. It's a wonderful thing to do. And how long is it before you finish, you graduate?
A month and a half at this point.
Does that mean the same thing in the Czech Republic as it does in the rest of the world? My fingers are crossed. Yes, good. I keep my fingers very crossed for you. I'm sure you'll do just fine. What makes you happy? What are the things that you pursue? What are the things do you try and do to be kind to yourself?
Well, lately I struggled with it because I spend most of my time just writing the thesis.
Of course.
And usually I write. I try to write prose. I am currently working on a book, but it kind of faded as I wanted to finish a thesis. So I started making customized Funko Pops. You know what that is?
No.
It's a type of vinyl figure. Like this.
Oh my goodness, fantastic.
And the point is, I always, when I watch a show or something, I fall in love with the least expected character in that show. And I just want a figure like this of that character, and it does not exist.
Fantastic. Tell me who, because it's the most unpopular character, so no one does anything interesting with them. So you fill the gap. You make sure something good happens to these people. Who is your latest love affair with?
Latest, well, probably Frenchie from The Boys.
Okay.
I'm currently working on a Funko Pop of him.
That's so cool.
He's right here. I'm trying my best.
That is so cool. They're really great. These are beautiful. What do you make them of?
So I buy normal Funko Pops that look like the Funko Pops I want to make.
And then you make sure, then you tailor them to make them look.
Yeah, and then
exactly.
My boyfriend got me for Christmas these game color that are used to paint figures, and now I'm working on it for like a month.
Well, you've been doing a dissertation, so that's not surprising. Yeah, that's what you find the way that relaxes you. That's how you get away from the constant trial of having to get through your dissertation and having seen it so much that you're now irritated by even thinking about it. What is your colleagues? What are the kids at college, if you talk to them about this at all, think about the whole Ukraine thing? What's the general feeling?
It's a lot of concern around here because I live on the eastern part of Czech Republic. So the Ukrainian border is like 400 kilometers from us.
Do you read the press? Are you interested in current affairs, or because you've been doing your dissertation, it might have been just the last thing you had time to do?
I am trying to keep it up right now. When it started, I was reading like everything, but it threw me down because it's happening really close. And now the Ukrainians are here. I know it's happening, but I don't need to know every single thing. At the end of the day, I read news and I keep up with everything that's happening, but I'm trying to like not press it on me too much because I'm still working.
A very good idea. Are you a sci-fi fan?
Well, that's the issue. I am actually not.
That's okay. I'm interested.
The thing about me getting here, it's a fun story because when I was 13, I was starting my writing career, as I call it, on this little app called Wattpad, if that rings a bell. And I wrote a really bad Star Trek fan fiction. I knew literally nothing about
it.
Yeah, I just decided I want to because there was this huge blockbuster movie back then, and Benedict Cumberbatch was in it, and I was a huge fan. So I was like, yeah, I need to write a fan fiction about that.
Right.
And 13-year-old me wrote this fan fiction and put it on that site. And a person approached me and actually like screamed at me at comments that I'm writing everything back. It was like, you don't even have the year right.
That's really important to Star Trek.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to write a fan fiction, and at this moment, this person is my best friend. It's Susanna. She's also from Czech Republic, and she got me here. She was like, "Come and see. Come take a look." So I'm here.
You can see all the weirdos, all the strange people. And you've actually plucked up the courage to talk, which is even cooler because you're talking to an actor you don't know in a fan forum that you know nothing about, except you did write a fan fiction once very badly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting, isn't it? Because we've got a cool bunch of people here.
Yeah, it's super cool here. I was in a bad mood today, but I'm not already, so.
You're better now. Do you want to have a career in I'm going to call it spatial geography because I can't remember the first one.
Yeah, I want, but in my country, we have universities for 3 years, and we have the bachelor, and after another 2 years, we have master's degree.
Yeah. So you've got to get a master's degree.
I'm about to continue if everything goes right. And then I want to have career. I want to be making maps and atlases. It's just fun. I love it. It's part of an art and it's partially a science. And how it connects, it's just something for me.
I think you're so unusual. I've never met anybody before who's this sort of cartographer. I think it's really cool what you do, and I hope you share can you, when you've handed it in and finished, can you give us a link to this atlas? Because we'd love to see it.
Yeah.
So we'd love to see that. Thank you, Emma.
Thank you.
And it's been lovely talking to you, even though you're not a sci-fi fan.
Thank you. It's been lovely too.
Thank you.
Thanks, Emma. And thanks, Susanna, for bringing Emma here.
Yeah, well done, Susanna.
All right, folks, we're going to wrap it up for today. Thank you all for joining us. Thanks to all the newbies. Our next meeting is next Friday, same time,
Friday.
same channel.
Come on and see us on Friday and have a chat.
Maybe we'll have Sid drink some wine beforehand so we can have.
Oh, well, that would be crazy time.
Crazy.
It'll get pretty metaphysical. I miss doing the slightly deeper chat, the slightly more personal chats, because remember we had themes all the time when we first started, and I really thought that built a connectivity between us that when it got a little bit less familiar, so I'm gonna work my way back to a little bit more of that crunchiness.
You always ask such easy questions too. So all right, folks.
Thanks,
Study up
guys.
for next time.
Yeah, have a lovely weekend, please.
Good night.
We'll see you. Bye.